Welcome to the Make Your Own Hacker Gadget series at Pentester Academy. So, the hacker gadget I'm going to teach you to make is called YD. That's something I've christened. And let's quickly go through the motivation behind YD and the goal of this entire exercise. So, before we begin, here is YD. If you can see, he looks like this Wi-Fi spider or a Wi-Fi Spidey, and hence, probably a very short name of YD. Uh, it has four inbuilt cards. You have three alpha cards and one inbuilt Athros based card. And here is the actual TP-Link based platform which is running the brain of YD. And inside this box I have a USB hub and all the wires and all that stuff concealed, and YD also has its own battery pack in there. uh, if you're expecting YD to move, it doesn't, at least not yet. Maybe later on we could go ahead and actually add a little bit of robotics twist to it and have YD move as well, right? So, what was the motivation behind YD? Well, lately, I think the whole pen test community has been very excited about custom boxes for pen testing. You have the pineapple, you have the whole pawn plug, you have rutabaga, a couple of other things out there, and these are very exciting gadgets. It's fun to play with them, and this was really the motivation behind this series, which is how do you go about creating your own such custom device, right? At times, probably purchasing them might be a bit cost prohibitive. At times, these devices might not also ship to where you live. I know for sure, to get some of these shipped to India is a big task. And at the very same time, these do present very compelling demos, especially when you want to show just after a pen test to the top management of a company how, let's say, a rogue access point or a hardware based backdoor can actually be put on the enterprise network. And coupled with social engineering, these can be very potent tools. Now, what are we really building, right? So, we are going to be building a gadget which allows us to do a lot of automated pen testing activities. Now, of course, we aren't going to reinvent the wheel. Rather, we are going to run different tools in there. More popular ones like Nmap, AirCrackNG, MDK3, DSNF, Karma, TCP dump, and a ton of others on that gadget and see how we can automate different tasks. Now, a lot of times when people start looking at, interfacing with hardware, loading firmware on it, maybe tinkering even at the hardware level, a lot of people, I think, have some amount of doubt if they have the technical capability to go ahead and do this, right? What is the difficulty level of this series? So I'm just going to pose three questions. Unfortunately, I can't hear the answers from you, so you're going to have to answer to yourself. And if your answer is yes to at least two of these, then I think you're good to go with this series. So the first is, have you ever installed Linux? And really, I mean, I don't even want you to go through the text interface. I mean the GUI interface to install Linux, right? If you have, well, I think 30% of tasks are already done from a prerequisite level. Again, have you installed packages on a Linux system using package managers like apt, right? If you have, 60% is pretty much done. And finally, have you ever configured an access point? Now, if your answer to most of these, if not all, is yes, then I think you're absolutely ready for this series. So what is the design goal behind creating our little pen test gadget or a hacker gadget? The first, of course, is it has to be cheap to build, right? I would not want you guys to spend hundreds of dollars to build this. So creating this entire setup pretty much would be less than $50. At the very same time, we are going to be using off the shelf hardware. So, I wouldn't want you to go ahead and purchase, an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi and then tinker and play with it. I'm just going to use off the shelf hardware and load our own customizable operating system on it. Now, this custom OS, of course, would have to have great support for device drivers out of the box and should have a good package management so that we can install most of our tools with ease, and the rest we can always compile and load on the system. Now, apart from these, of course, any system in today's world needs to be extensible, both from a hardware as well as from a software perspective. And this is also something we would like to meet. Finally, I think you would pretty much want to be able to create your own programs and script on this platform to do what you desire. And hence, scripting capabilities with languages such as Python, Ruby, Perl, Bash, etc. is also something which is desirable. So let's go ahead and unravel the choices which we made to meet our goal. Now, the operating system we are going to be using is OpenWRT. You can visit openwrt.org. It is probably one of the most popular open router and on router-based firmware projects out there. That's something we're going to use. Now, from a hardware requirement perspective, one of the major tasks is going to be pen testing wireless networks, and hence the wireless radio on this platform should allow for monitor mode and injection. At the very same time, we may want to have more than one Wi-Fi device or a USB key, bunch of other things, and hence there has to be USB connectivity so that we can add more devices. Finally, it should be something which is easy to power up. So it should allow for USB based power or maybe have its own built-in battery. So there are two possibilities as far as choosing the platform is concerned. The first is a TP-Link 3G 4G router called TLMR3020. Now this only costs $37 today on Amazon. So you can go there and purchase this. And as you can clearly see in the diagram, we have a USB interface which the router actually uses for a 3G, 4G dongle. But we are going to be using this for other purposes. It has a USB based power. There is an Ethernet connection as well, and a switch, of course, to toggle between different modes. Now this is one possibility which we can use. The other one is the MR3040, which is only $35, has Ethernet, USB, power, etc. The best part is this also has a built-in battery, I think, which can last for up to 3 to 4 hours. Now you can purchase either of these. In this series, I'm going to cover both MR3020 to begin with, and then later on MR3040. My recommendation, if you can, purchase both of these platforms so that you can play with them. Apart from this, we would need a USB key. I think anything between 8 to 16 gigs should be more than enough. Such USB keys, I think, would cost you anywhere between $5 to $10. I've just put in $10 as a cost estimation. So if you add both of these up, the 37 plus 10 is 47 and 35 plus 10 is 45, right? And that is pretty much what the core requirement for this series is. Apart from that, if you want to go ahead and install additional cards, well, you can purchase cards like the Alpha or any other card which we can eventually have the platform support. So going back again, first purchase could be a TP-Link router. Here it is, the MR3020. The second one is again a TP-Link MR3040, which I have in here. And then you have a USB key. I'm going to be using a 16 gig transcend. You could purchase what you like. And finally, you have your USB based Wi-Fi cards in case you would like to add more cards to the system, right? Okay, so this course is a free one. All the videos would be posted for free, and there would be PDF slides, code snippets, automation scripts, and later on, if this kind of works out and I enjoy doing this enough, we might even have interesting hardware up for offer or create our own and put it out. So to receive all of this, please go ahead and subscribe to pentesteracademy.com/YD. There's a simple form in there. Just fill up your email, and anytime a new video is produced, we send you an email with a link to the PDF slides and code snippet downloads and all of that stuff, right? The reason we want you to subscribe to the mailing list is so that we can be in touch, get course feedback, and work together on this. Okay, so that's all I had in mind for this introduction video. And if you're enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, then please do recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the InfoSec community. Thank you.